Hello, writers. Welcome to this week's Writer's Tool Shed, our Week 11 example story. The prisoner rode through the middle of the packed old city street. Guards on all sides of her parted the crowds of people who had left homes and jobs to see her with their own eyes. She was a woman dressed in a white robe, arms in shackles, legs chained. She rode head down, ignoring the voices hurling their hate at her, shouts of victory, shrieks of vengeance, and the whispered gossip about who the woman was and what she had done. She rode on, unresponsive, and only the guard closest to her could tell that she had a peculiar smile on her face. It glinted in her blue eyes as if she had a secret, as if she knew what was coming. So let's look at some of these words here. Shackles is a noun, and it means chains or other outside forces that bind someone that keep them from moving. So the traditional view of shackles is these iron rings that go around your wrists with a chain connecting them together, and they would bind the prisoner so you can't move your hands. They're very old-fashioned. But shackle can also mean any general thing that binds you. So like maybe ignorance can be a shackle because it keeps you from trying new things, or you could be shackled by anxiety, so you can't go out and meet other people. When you're writing with it, using shackles versus handcuffs, shackles is the more general term. Handcuffs is very literal. It's specifically those two metal rings that police use nowadays to bind a person's hands. And shackles, again, is more general and it could be abstract. Victory is a noun. It means a win, often having a feeling of lasting finality. So it's not just a small win, it's a total win. It's a huge victory. You can see the team here has won the trophy, and so they're holding it high and they're cheering and they're saying, yes, victory, we won. A few weeks ago, we learned the word triumph, which has a similar meaning to victory, but triumph can be used in broader ways. A victory is specifically there was a winner and there was a loser, and you won. But with a triumph, there's not necessarily a loser. You could say, oh, look, the garden is a complete triumph because the flowers grew and the plants are pretty and everything is nice. But there wasn't a loser. No, there was no loser in the gardening scenario. And so triumph can be used that way, but victory can't. Shriek is a noun. It means a shrill, piercing cry, such as in laughter, pain, or fear. This woman is shrieking at something for some reason. She's that, you can imagine her, that like high, shrill sound coming out of her mouth. When you're writing with it, a shriek versus a scream, they're very similar, but the slight difference is that a scream is generally longer, it lasts longer. And a shriek is usually shorter, it's kind of all at once in surprise, and it's very, very high pitched. You can have a scream that is not necessarily the highest, but a shriek is always going to be very high pitched. Gossip is a noun, words spreading personal secrets about other people. Psst, psst, did you hear about this? Psst, did you hear this person? When you're writing with it, a piece of gossip versus a rumor, there's a slight difference here because rumor focuses more on the actual information. There is a rumor that he is going to shave his head next week. There is a rumor that the teacher is going to cancel the test. But gossip is something that is more focusing on the act of spreading the personal secrets. Like, oh, that's just gossip. Don't listen to it. That's not something you want to engage in. Peculiar is an adjective meaning unusual, odd, or special. These donuts have jalapenos on top. How peculiar that they would have such a flavor as jalapeno donuts. When you're writing with it, peculiar and strange are similar, but strange has more of a disapproving connotation. Like you would say, oh, how strange, jalapeno donuts. But peculiar is you're more curious, you're more open to it. Like, oh, peculiar, how interesting and peculiar these jalapeno donuts.